record. And there's the encoder, and then you've got the intro. So, Lauren, you've got time to find it and share it.
Okay.
It was another rotten, slow, dreary night behind the bar, and I was still hungover, as usual, and time was crawling by slower than a slug stuck in hot tar. The door swung open, and I grimaced at the thought of putting on the act for some poor schmo looking to drown his own sorrows in this stinking joint. That's when I looked up and saw her. She had a look in her eyes that told me her dirty blonde hair wasn't the dirtiest thing about her. She asked if I made a good Tom Collins, so I rolled my eyes and exhaled deeply before sliding her a shot of warm gin and a dented can of 7-Up. She winked and smiled and said, "Never mind, Slick. Give me a big shot of that wild turkey you got behind there and tell me a funny story. Pour one for yourself, too. I don't want to drink alone tonight." She brought those smoky gray eyes up and locked them on mine, and I knew I didn't stand a chance. I wasn't sure my liver could take another 6-week bender with this crazy dame, but after she worked me over in the beer cooler that night, I said to hell with it. Let's ride this train to the last stop, baby. It was just another in a never-ending series of tales from the Barside.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Tales from the Barside. We got an intro going tonight. We had so much fun last week with the Angry Bartender. We had to bring the bunny back, man. Welcome back, Angry Bartender.
Happy to be
back. So it sounds like somebody kicked you in the bunny nuts since last time we saw you. You got extra healing.
Oh.
It sounds good, though. As always, my lovely co-host Lauren is with us as well. Hello, Lauren. So yeah, we had a great time. I think we got to know each other. We became pals. We became drinking buddies. You know, that's what bartenders do. We go out to the bar and we bitch about work and we have a few drinks together, and then all of a sudden we're friends. And the next thing you know, it's like let's do this again next week. That was kind of fun. So that being said, we're just gonna tell some stories tonight. We got a couple of questions for you, but not too much of the digging to get to know. We feel like we know you, Angry Bartender. We feel like we're good pals now. We can just shoot the shit and talk about some cool things that have happened at your bar, fun stories, things like that. You know what? Something struck me today because there was a meme that I saw about, do you know that BAR stands for beer and alcohol room, and everybody rolls their eyes and they're like, oh my God, no, it doesn't. It's like, we've been over this a million times, people. It doesn't. It stands for bar, like Latin, like barrier, like you're the customer and I'm the server. And so there's a barrier in between us. And it got me thinking about when you work at a place that has like a bad opening in the bar, or, you know, like the spot for the bartenders to come behind or the bar backs to come behind is a little too close to where the customers are. Somebody invariably cut magical line and invades your space a little bit, and how you deal with them. I know that's happened to you guys before. Somebody comes behind the bar or even just takes a step behind the bar and you're like,
yeah, grab at bottles and
get
stuff.
out, I'll kill you.
I had a coworker that screamed stranger danger and then stopped, dropped, and rolled. Which, it was an interesting way to play it. Do you want me to go back to regular voice?
I just love how high pitched it is. It's so good. The helium voice is perfect. Yeah, I've definitely been there. I've had some people do some stupid shit, try and get behind the bar. There's this at one of the bars I worked at, there's a completely different room in front of the place where you go into the bar, to get behind the bar. And it's like, how are you getting back here? You didn't know that you were going the wrong way. I don't know, it's just stupid that people think that they can do that.
Sometimes I'll chalk it up to just somebody being
drunk,
somebody being an idiot. They don't know better.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's happened where it's like, hey, you can't be back here. Really? What? Where are you going where you're just allowed to walk behind the bar?
Right. I don't know a place where you could just get behind the bar.
I mean, I never went behind the counter at McDonald's and flipped my own burger. Never thought about it either, though.
Right. I'm not trying to come back behind somebody else's bar, or, you know, when somebody thinks that, usually bartenders, you know, fellow bartenders know the rule, but, you know, sometimes people think, you know, they get a few drinks in them. They're hanging out at a neighborhood bar. They're like, it's my buddy back there. Like, dude, like, unless I tell you to come back here for something, please don't, you know, don't make this awkward for all of us, please.
I mean, like some places I work, it's more scary for them because if one of my security sees it, then
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
like
gonna
all of a
be
sudden you're in a
pummeled.
headlock and getting yanked out the door and arm twisted behind your back. You're all screwed up.
I remember at my cousin Christine's, like, I think it was her bachelorette party or something, like we were all going around bar hopping, we're getting wasted, and I was like, I'm a bartender, let me bartend for my people, and they let me. And I don't remember
Yeah.
doing that. Like, I was that
Exactly.
drunk. So I was like, you just let me come behind the bar and make shots for my people? Like, okay.
if
Are you
you
gonna
don't
do a
remember,
shot?
if you don't
I
remember,
think it's
it didn't
shot
happen.
time. Yeah. Angry bartender says it's shot time, so I'm
Oh,
down.
it's shot time? All right,
It's shot
hold
time.
up. All right.
Well, you've got a shot ninja feeding you shots, so I just
Yeah, I don't
came
get the shot
prepared.
ninja.
I got myself ready. Drinking out of crystal skulls, I see.
It's all I have right now.
The blood of your enemies.
The tequila's gonna go one of two ways.
So I think that we should open it up to people. If you guys have a question for the Angry Bartender, leave a comment and I will be reading through them and we will ask him for you.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
Oh man.
Mm.
Are you guys any closer to work?
I don't think so. I don't think that I'm going to be going to work for a while.
Yeah.
They just announced today that up in the UP in the northern parts of Michigan, they're going to open up with limited capacity, slowly but surely.
I think they said 50%.
Hopefully around the corner in the next couple of weeks. But, you know, the only thing that's going to make me feel really safe is if the numbers just like completely flatten out and go way down. You know,
Yeah.
squash the numbers, and then we can open up and everybody can feel safe about it. Until then, it's just going to keep on, you know, extending and extending and extending.
Right.
I don't think anybody wants to see that, obviously.
Well, and I guess so. I mean, there's a good question. So, I mean, just based on some of the things that I've seen, like I've got friends that are in Wisconsin or wherever else, like bars that are opening up, and I've seen these pictures that they've taken, where basically you have to be Tim the Toolman Taylor if you're a bar owner right now, because you have to figure out how to build and put together these plexiglass shields around the bar and that kind of stuff. And so I guess like I almost feel like it's sort of an unfair advantage to larger establishments as opposed to like your smaller neighborhood bars and that kind of stuff, because dude, like Whiskey in the Jar, Temple Bar, those kind of places, are they really going to be able to like build those kind of structures to enclose their bar when 90% of it is like there's usually 5 people sitting there at the bar bullshitting
Right.
with the bartender, and like that's the whole appeal of going there. Like that, I don't
Right.
I mean, your Bennigan's, your Applebee's, whatever the hell, your chain here, okay, great, corporate's throwing money at them and probably sending shit out and all that kind of crap. I guess like how do you see the reopening process actually working for different kinds of bars?
I mean,
That's a good question.
I see a really big rift between bars that are trying to take it seriously. I actually got a picture today from a bar in Maryland that put people in like basically an inner tube with wheels, and it looked like a
Yeah.
baby walker, and that was your distance. And I've seen bars that are like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Everybody come in, and,
Literally packed.
Yeah. Like today, I know I posted a question from somebody where it was like something along the lines of, I feel like my owners don't actually care about the customers or us. They
Right.
just want to be open, and they're not following any of the regulations on anything.
Yeah.
But like, and then there were comments inside also where it was like, we had the cops called on us like 5 times, and every time the cops were like, no, they're doing everything properly. This is the proper deal. So like, I think perception is a lot of it also though.
Yeah.
Like people think people need to be further, if that makes sense, further apart. depending on what your state's bylaw or guidelines
Yeah,
are. But
it's going to be a lot of perception versus reality, I'm sure.
yeah, like you're going to see people that think you're going to take it too seriously. You're going to have people that think you're not taking it seriously enough, and you're doing the same thing both times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm concerned because like at the place I work at, we don't even have straws or anything. So I'm touching like glasses and beer bottles, and like, how are you supposed to keep like everything being sanitized constantly if you work at like a nightclub or something? People, half my job is basically reading lips because I can't hear anything.
Can you imagine being a high volume bartender in a place like that with guidelines that say, hey, you have to wash your hands for 20 seconds between each serve?
Yeah, that would be insane.
The whole point of that nightclub is moot then. Nobody's going to go out to that. No, the whole point of it is speed. Get them out fast, get them drunk real quick. Everybody wants a drink, 500 people all screaming for they're thirsty at the same time.
Basically bottle service for everyone. That's what that's.
You serve yourself, actually.
I mean, like, we're using gloves, and gloves don't work. Like, they don't, because you have to use them after every time you touch every time you touch a surface, they need to be changed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. It's unrealistic.
And like, we touch, so like, if you're making one drink, even with a plastic cup, like, I touch the cup, okay, that's fine. I get the ice, put the cup down. Now, before I grab a bottle, I need to actually change gloves if I'm going to do it properly.
Right.
Now I grab that, change the glove, grab the bottle, pour the drink, put the bottle down. I need to change that glove again before I grab another drink for another bottle. So with my left hand now, that I haven't touched anything with, I guess I can grab the drink gun. Actually, no, I scooped ice with the left hand, so now I need to change my glove again. Now I hit it with the soda gun and change the glove again. Do I have to grab you a garnish? Are we using tongs? Are they speared? And then I've got to get it. I'm going to change the gloves again to go to you.
So a Long Island will now cost $37 just to accommodate for glove costs. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes. I mean, I think I've gone through each night a box, just myself.
Well, I would assume that they would not have like garnish happening. So then it kind of brings up another question. What would happen to, places that do like craft cocktailing, where a lot of times the garnish is part of the cocktail, If
you're a mixologist.
I mean, at that point, like, okay, I don't know. I really don't know. At that point, you have one person just cutting, I guess. And they have to handle everything. They have to cut everything, change gloves, move them. Maybe if you do just toothpick it. I don't know. This is crazy.
Yeah. It's really weird. I don't even know what to expect really going back.
Yeah, bars, especially nightclubs, aren't set up for this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
No.
And like, how are you supposed to be 6 feet away from someone?
It's the whole point of going out to a bar is to mingle and interact and be close to people and be yelling at people. And everybody just kind of takes it for granted that, like, yeah, the bartender's going to wash his hands 50 times that night, but not in between every single customer and blah, 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 blah. So it's, it's just alcohol. Who cares? This is adding a whole new wrinkle to everything. It's like,
right.
Do you really want to go out to the bar? Do you really want to go out to work if it could cost you your life? Like, is it worth that? I don't know, and then, is it so much surface contact as it is airborne contact? Does it really matter if you're wearing gloves and changing all the time? If somebody coughs over there and you get it anyways, like, who knows? We still don't even know. Like, so I'm saying I'm excited that places are starting to open back up, like they feel like they can, but I'm just hopeful that like the numbers keep going down instead of like this makes them spike.
Yeah, definitely.
Fingers crossed for everybody out there.
So one of our viewers, Amy, wants to know, would we rather be at work or have them wait longer to open? So, so for me personally, like, as much as I want to go back to work because I do miss bartending and I miss, seeing all my regulars and hanging out and loud music and all that stuff. I love what I do. I don't necessarily feel completely safe going back to work yet. So I personally would prefer not to. I don't think there's a safe way for
same
clubs and stuff to open.
Same. I have a bar job once they open back up. Yeah. No, my
Right.
owner called me up and, and I told him, I was like, I think it's too early and I don't feel, I've got another job. I went and got another job. I've had other jobs and stuff like that. So I was able to keep working. I'm like, I'm not really in any hurry to go working back with the public, but I know that if I wanted to, I could. So
Right.
he hasn't opened up yet. Obviously we can. I have to kind of wait until we get the go ahead and then see. But, we got some good news in Detroit yesterday. There was 0 coronavirus deaths in Detroit. I don't know if that's the whole Metro Detroit area or all of Michigan or anything like that. They just said Detroit, but I'm like, that was a hot spot a month ago.
That's just the city.
That's good news.
Yeah, that's
Right.
just the city.
Just the city of Detroit. It's still good news. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Still good.
Those are my people. Like, I
Hopeful.
love Detroit. Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm back at work, and it's different.
Yeah.
People
Would you
do
have
it-
preferred that they waited, or are you like,
Yes.
okay, do you feel comfortable going to work?
I would prefer they waited.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with, it's like, well, you just don't have to go to work. I'm like, well, it's not that simple always. It's not
Right.
as simple as like, I'm just not going to go to work, because then it's like, well, I didn't get a job because I was trying to wait this out, and I was on unemployment. And here, if you don't go back to work, you don't get the unemployment.
Right.
So
Right.
it's, and now it's, well, everyone else has found jobs. It's not like I can just go find another job, and I definitely can't get a job that pays me what I'm making right now. Like,
right.
Right.
people have wanted to go to bars, and for the most part are tipping really well. Like, they miss being at bars. Plus, a lot of people have been on unemployment, and with the extra $600 a week are getting way more money than they would have got anyway. So they're
Right.
they don't know what to do with this money, and there we go. They don't know what to do with this money, and they're just like spending it like it's this crazy thing. Cheers, Drink Ninja. And like,
Cheers, Drink Ninja.
cheers. And it's just crazy, but like, with that said, people have been complete pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you've experienced from going back, like, especially being an angry bartender? Like, how angry have you had to get?
I've been pretty fucking angry. I'm really disgusted with people. Everyone
Yeah.
has seemed to be in the mindset of, we're back open, so we have to make up for all the missed public drinking we've had the last couple weeks. And then on top of it, people have been. I haven't got a bunch of demanding, but man, when I got garbage people, we had to stop a sexual assault the other night. That's the worst thing I've ever dealt with. That's the worst thing I've ever dealt with in my entire life. People have really shown their real fucking colors during this whole quarantine, and it's mentally taxing in so many ways, because you've got like a business owner who's been missing income for 2 months. You've been missing income, and you guys want to reopen, and you want to do it safely. And then there's people, like, you want to be able to wait on people, and you want to be able to like make them happy. But the people, man, fucking this, like, it was basically a week for me, like exactly a week. Fuck everybody. I've never, I don't think I was sober from that incident until probably at some point last night, where like I was just like, all right, I'm like, I need to stop cramming caffeine and alcohol into my body in ridiculous fucking amounts, because I don't think I've slept in a week, and this isn't good.
So we have somebody that wants to know, what is your favorite drink to serve?
I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. Am I trying to like show off, or I want to serve you a shot? I want to serve you a shot at Jameson, and even though I'm drinking tequila tonight, I would like you to do one with me. But
Okay, so so you said, like, if you're doing like let's just do it this way. Like, if you're doing a shot and a beer, what would you serve? How about that?
I don't have that part. Jameson. When everyone's like, what's your favorite thing to make? Jameson.
There you go, Jameson. It's always a good answer.
I'm not here for a good time. I'm here for a drunk time.
Right. Exactly. Well, no, and on the people acting like jerks though, on the people acting like just total scumbags out there, you're always gonna have that percentage of people that don't know how to handle their booze. And they can treat the place like garbage. They can treat people like garbage. They can just go off and do whatever. You know, I don't know what the mentality is that gets people like that, but some people are just like that when they get drunk. Me, I'm one of two ways. I'm either like a maniac and trying to like hurt myself or make an idiot out of myself, or telling everybody that I love them. You know, like I love you guys so much.
Now, do you do flair at all, Remy?
I had somebody teach me how to do flair years ago. And so like, I know a couple of things, but not good enough to do it. And if you don't know it good enough to do it, don't do it. That's always been my thing. Like I learned a few things and I was good when I was in practice, but I wasn't great at it. And it's like, what's the point in doing it if you can't be great at it? You know, like it just looks silly.
I worked for like a man who had like a huge flair bartending background and was did competitive flair and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So all of us, when we worked for him, we were all like trying to learn flair to like impress him. And he would straight up just say like, if you can't do something 50 times in a row, you're not doing it behind my bar. Like without screwing up, you're not doing it behind my bar. He wouldn't even like let us show him unless it was like empty, you know, like nobody could be in there.
It looks dumb unless you've got a whole routine and you make it look really slick. And,
sure.
You know, some people are really impressive at it. And I'm like, that's great, man. That's really cool. I can't do that, so I know. Like,
it's like a carnival court in Vegas. I can just go watch them for hours.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
I can't do any of that. I can pour with like 6 tins. That's about it.
I know like some working flair, you know, like just a couple of things that people have shown me that I've like honed in on and made sure I'm like, I can do it every time, but it's like very limited and it's not that cool.
Same, like I'll grab an empty beer bottle in front of somebody and flip it backwards and then catch it back over my head, you know? And it's like, it looks cool. It's easy. I catch it every time. I toss it in the bin with the empties. We're good to go. And you know, that's good. But yeah, it's total work.
It's not cool.
I can do a very sloppy waterfall.
Yeah, right.
It goes everywhere, but I can still do it. I do love that though, like going to places and seeing bartenders that just like really enjoy doing what they do and like smiling and laughing and having a great time behind the bar, especially when you go to those places that have like a little bit of a shtick that they have, you know, that's cool, but it's not like I can't go every single week and see it. You know what I mean? It's like come in every once in a while, little vacation.
Well, and it has to be entertaining, you know?
Right.
I love a bartender that's filled with a million jokes. You know, you're sitting there and he's just like cracking jokes left and right and making fun of customers that he knows and stuff like that. Or she, sorry. You know, those kind of places are great. But yeah, if you've got some kind of entertainment shtick going on, great, love it, fun. I was trying to be a bit of a smart ass, you know, give people smart answers and stuff like that, but all in jest.
Yeah, kind of the same, and then people take it the wrong way.
Yeah, It's like, you know, sometimes if you do something, it's like it works 90% of the time, and then you have that one person that you do it and you like super offend them, or, you know, they just think that you're the worst ever. And that's always shitty. I feel bad afterwards. I'm like, ooh, didn't mean to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I get over it.
It's like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards. Like, nah, more like chewed out. I've been chewed out before. No big deal. You know, like I'm not gonna get fired. Over this.
Yeah. I'd actually use that line. I'd use that line. I'm gonna get you fired. Like, you might get me chewed out. I've been chewed out before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna get me fired. I highly doubt it.
That's not even the worst thing I've said to somebody today. Come on, lady.
Right. Exactly. Act like I punched your baby in front of you. Come on, like relax a little bit, Karen.
Oh,
Not that big of a deal. I love when they get offended. I love when ladies get offended. It's usually women, like middle-aged women, get offended if you swear. And I'm like, this is a bar. This is an alcoholic establishment. If you don't want to hear a little bit of sailor talk, then I don't know, take your fucking ears somewhere else. Like I'm a bartender. Like, this is how I talk.
Yeah, I say fuck a lot, and I'm like, I hate, like, I was like, I shouldn't have said that in front of a person I don't know, because you never know which way it's gonna roll.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know.
I've got one coworker that, like, one day, we did a shot, and then one of us grabbed the other inappropriately, and this lady in front of us goes, do you have HR? And they're like, yeah, call that bar phone, and whichever one of us picks up, we got you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
And I was like, shit, is she serious? Or was she,
Right.
like, laughing along with us? I can't really tell because of the Botox, so she was probably serious.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
if
the only
you don't
time
want to be
that's-
sexually harassed, don't work at a bar, because that's like a common thing. Like, whether it's from the customers or if it's like playful from like the people you work with, but it's like, you know, I've had a lot of people grab at me and stuff when I'm leaving in and out of, you know, the bar and everything. It's like, I kind of just blow it off unless it's a customer, and then I'm like, yo, fuck you, don't touch me.
Right.
But some people will think, like, because I'm playful with the people behind the bar or whatever, they'll see that, and then when I come out from in front of the bar, they're like, oh, she's like playful like that, and it's like, no, I am not.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
It's like, they were talking about fucking your mom, so I can. Like, no, because they're actually fucking my mom. And then everyone's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I just made that fucking joke. Fuck you and back off.
I'm telling you, a well-placed F-bomb at the right time can really, like, lighten a mood, though. You know? Some customers appreciate it, some don't. You know, like, oh, sure, I'll be right back with that. And you come back like, hey, I got you your fucking ranch. Now you can enjoy your fucking burger or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you happy now? And some people appreciate that kind of humor, and some people are like, well, what's with all the swearing? Like, I don't know. Just, you know, if you do this for 20 years, it makes you fucking crazy.
I've definitely had people do that before, like, be like, you shouldn't be swearing or whatever. I'm like, we're in a nightclub. It's like literally 21 and up to get in here. I'm not swearing in front of children. I'm not like, you know, come on.
Sorry about your sensitivity.
You have to be an adult to come in here.
Right? I had someone send in a story forever ago, and they were like, you know, like, two people came in, like a guy and a girl, and he's like, hey, how you guys doing? And they got really offended by the term guys. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Like, is this the world we're in?
You're taking it a little bit too seriously. Now, in the service industry, I learned that a long time ago, working at a nicer place. I was waiting tables, and somebody said, you need to get out of the habit of calling all of your tables guys, because there's ladies, just say, hey, folks, how's everyone doing tonight? You know, and it's good for your tips, because some people hear that and they are a little bit like tweaked by it. Most people won't say anything about it, but if you just call everybody guys across the board, I get it. It's just a habit kind of thing, but it's one of those, once you're in the industry and somebody kind of corrects you on it, you pick it up, you know, it's like,
yeah.
See, I would go with folks, and I had a friend go like, oh my God, I've never heard that before. What? Like, that's worse. I'm like, how is folks worse?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you fuckers doing tonight?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
You know,
yeah, no, I actually had a
dining,
moment where I had like a bunch of, you know, we would have like ladies night. So a lot of times, especially in the nightclub that I worked at the time, it was like huge groups of girls, and there'd be like some guys scattered about, right? So, you know, they'd all be ordering all these shots. I would have all of the bachelorette parties. I would have all of like the 21st birthday parties, whatever. And then a group of guys would come up, and I'd be like, hey, ladies. And like instantly just like, I'm just gonna roll with that. I'm just gonna say, hey, ladies, to all the guys.
I've been dealing with women all night. Like, what do you broads want?
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, like, the proper comeback to that is like, hold on, barmaid.
I just can't help it. Sometimes I get in the habit of saying ladies, and then, you know, you have people, it's like, I shouldn't be saying guys or ladies. I should be saying, you know, folks, gang, whatever. Hey, gang.
You have someone that's watching on the Podcast Detroit page just said, I'm just from now on, I'm going with, hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Every time a group walks up, I'm going to say that from here on out. For you, podcast listener. you can say that.
Things I do, I shouldn't do, and I still do. I haven't died yet.
I'm angry. I can say whatever I want.
What do you do? Get me chewed out? I've been chewed out before.
Yeah. Okay, so we actually have someone who asked, dive bar, hole in the wall, or high-paced nightclub do you prefer to pour at?
High-paced nightclub, as long as the money is consistent year-round.
Absolutely.
100%.
If you are in a non-seasonal setting,
Right.
10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you choose that? I want to hear what your idea of that is.
Because generally at a dive bar, you're doing everything. You are the bouncer. You're probably the manager on duty. You're going to run your own food. You're going to take your own trash. You're doing a million things that you probably have a support staff at a nightclub for. So physically, even though you might not be making drinks at the same pace as a nightclub, it's almost at times worse. Because once you make 2,000 drinks in a night, that's fine. But the process of like flipping chairs, moving tables, this and that, it's almost physically worse. Mentally, at a hole in the wall, you have to make everyone think you like them, even if you hate them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Now you're fucking with me mentally and physically. Plus, again, as long as it's consistent year-round, I have had way more bang for my buck at a nightclub.
But again, the money has to stay consistent because I've worked at a nightclub where it was great money at first and then slowly went down, 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 down. And you're like, I'm listening to fucking Drake all night for this? No, I'm sorry, I'm not. Like, I can't stand it. Like, at least at a hole in the wall dive bar, somebody's playing good music on the jukebox. There's a much more fun atmosphere, more my style of people. I'm not just like, hey, let's make 700 vodka sodas tonight, with a couple of vodka cranberries thrown in. We're all good. It's great. Like, both can be awesome. Both can be lucrative. I'll put up with a lot of shit at both of them. But what it comes down to is the money. Is the money really good at one or the other? There you go.
I also want to say, too, it's like I happen to prefer nightclubs as well. It might be because I work primarily my entire bartending career in nightclubs, but you generally only work, like let's say Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You only have like those like money-making nights, and you'll be in there for, 5 working hours, 1 hour setup, 1 hour breakdown. So you're there like less time, and you make really good money being there, as long as the money's consistent, like you said. So you make a lot of really good money being there, but it takes a special kind of person to bartend in a nightclub, being really fast, knowing having a lot of knowledge of being behind the bar, but also just being like really consistent on your pours. Usually you don't have a perfect pour system there, so you're free pouring, making sure that every drink is coming out that way. And you still do have to have somewhat of a personality. You can't just be like, here's your drink and go. People have to still be able to, like, in that split second of them being at your bar, connect with you and be able to be like, oh yeah, we go to this bartender and that's why,
Right.
So I like working in a nightclub too. But you can still make a fuck ton of money in a hole in the wall.
Yep.
It's just a lot more work.
Yeah, it seems like the hole in the wall is you got to start at 5 and go until 2, And I'm like, dude, my back is killing me. I'm getting old. Like,
and then that's when you start to clean.
9 to 2. Yeah. More physical, more time on your feet, more labor. I'm like, no, I want to sit down. I'm tired.
Yeah, for sure.
Old man Remy.
But when you're working at like a nightclub and stuff, you're running. Like usually for a solid at least 3 hours, you might be slow at the very beginning and then it kind of dies out at the very end, but at least 3 hours you're running back and forth, and it's like you're getting your workout for the day. You get your steps in for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But it depends on how it's set up too, because the one that I worked at, you were going back and forth in like a 10-foot window, and that was it. Because somebody else.
So if you have like a satellite bar where it's like a single person capacity,
so you'd have to run a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. then like I
But
understand
yeah,
that where it's like you're kind of
there
in
was a
one
lot
spot.
of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're still
exactly.
turning
You've got
around and
your
getting stuff, and yeah, you've got everything going. And like you said too, it's like having a bar back is like night and day difference when it comes to like cleanup. And while you're like bartending, it's like, you have somebody that's helping you out and kind of like grabbing stuff for you. I would get, if I was like bartending at night by myself and I actually did like pop off and it would be fucking slammed for a minute, I would be like, bar back, you're allowed to serve beers only. You can't serve liquor. But if you want to pop open beers, I'll ring them in for you, like.
Just keep it going. Let's get some money.
Yeah,
in
just
here,
gotta
right?
keep it turning. You're just getting beers. All right, grab them the 5 beers. I'll charge them. Like.
Oh yeah, we used to have one that we'd be like, hey, 4 pitchers of beer, of Bud Light, because they were only gonna sit for like 3 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's gonna buy one. I'm like, just when you see
I just want a lineup of them.
right, like when you see me serve one, just keep one, like just let it go. But it just again, it depends. Like, but also like I feel like at a high volume bar, it sucks if you get paired with people and they're gonna sometimes try to put strong with weak, where it's like, hey, this is my section, and this is your section, and we're all gonna work this side, our own side, and next thing you know, you're working a side and a half over here, a portion of there, and then the person behind you has theirs, and these two have no idea what they're doing.
Right. Our friends at Drunken Confessions want to know, do you prefer a live band or a DJ when bartending? When at a bar in general?
I feel like the sound level is more controlled when it's a DJ.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides that, I don't really have a preference, but I do feel DJs are a little less about who can make the biggest bang sound-wise.
Right.
So I guess I'm going to go DJ on that.
I agree with you on that. I prefer DJ. Same thing, kind of like if you have the level, it's all level. I know that I have to scream the entire time, or I know that I can. And I also really hate that, like with live bands and stuff, there's kind of like lulls. There's like, like a point when they're like breaking everything down, or they're taking a break really quick. So now we have to quickly put on an iPad or iPod, whatever the fuck they're called. And, that I think that kind of like breaks up the flow of my bar.
And I also feel like with the DJs, most of them with technology now can kind of find the song someone wants to hear, where like bands just don't know how to always play it, or,
Right. Can't really make requests to bands. Sometimes you can.
Sometimes
not
you
as
can,
much.
but yeah.
So I've worked a few festivals where like a band is playing and it's not like a huge well-known act or anything like that, but people are like, they're drinking, they're at an outdoor festival, they're having fun, they're going to watch the band, right? The cool thing about a band is when they take those lulls, that's when everybody crushes the bar. And so when it's coming. Like, people are mingling around, they're getting drinks, they're watching the band, whatever. But when there's that break and they put on the iPads, then everybody's hitting the bar, and then you're like super busy real quick, you crank them all out, and then the band starts back up again, and you kind of like ease back in. And I do like that kind of like, that shift of pace,
There's like that it's waves. It's not everyone cramming your bar at once the entire time. It's kind of just like little waves of people coming.
Right.
Yep.
So I guess that's nice too, is like being able to know like, okay, we're about to get slammed for a minute. We're going to pump out a bunch of drinks, and then we can go back to kind of like being at like a normal pace,
Also, with the band, sometimes I feel like with a DJ, it's generally people know what they're getting into with the DJ. Sometimes with the band, you end up with like, with the music snobs, and it's just like, no, these guys' style just doesn't suit me, so I'm gonna go elsewhere. I feel there just seem to be more hiccups when a band isn't more that kind of thing. Bands have crowds that travel with them at times, place to place to see them. That's not always sometimes it's great. Sometimes that backfires. I mean, same for a DJ too, but I think with band.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say that, like, with a band and a DJ, I think one thing they might have in common for a bartender is that, like, having to deal with them and like, I'm part of the band or I'm the DJ, and I need all these drinks for free, or I need all these bottles for free. And it's like, as a bartender, you're standing there going like, no one told me this. I don't know. And you're like, should I stop what I'm doing and run over and ask someone, or just hand them this bottle? Like,
See, and again, just personal experience, I feel like I've dealt with that worse with bands.
right.
Where the bands feel like the place owes them something, and they're
Right.
a little full of themselves.
Well, they might even have a rider. They might even have something saying that they do get that stuff. But as the bartender, you don't always get all of the information, you know, or like you might get the information and then there's something that was talked about after that and it never got back to you. And it's like, okay, we're giving you another bottle and I didn't know, or, you know, you get another bucket of beer and I didn't know. So it's like, you have to make a split-second decision sometimes, like in lieu of a manager, and hopefully you're making the right decision.
Well, like, I think a lot of that too becomes with the DJ. Generally, you're dealing with the DJ. With the band, there's like 4 guys in the band, 5 guys in the band, a sound guy, sometimes a manager. Like, there's
or like their girlfriends are there too in their booth, and they're supposed to be getting all their shots for free, or they're getting a bottle of champagne or something. And you're like, I don't. At some point, you just kind of lose track of like who's with the band and what's going on, or who's with the DJ, and you're just like, I hope I'm doing the right. I'm gonna write it down, and hopefully we get our money for it.
Here's what I gave out. You guys decide who pays for what.
Right, you figure that out.
You know? I've had to do that a couple of times, you know.
For
oh,
sure.
friends of the owner. All these people are with me. Well, who's all these people? Like, is there 8 of them? Is there 6? I don't know. You know,
or if you've seen them before with the owner and you're like, you actually are friends with the owner, I don't know what to do now, you know. You're not lying.
And then try working at a nightclub that's got 5 different owners, you know.
Right.
So you know, so like they're all bringing their friends around. You're like, I don't even know all the owners' names, let alone all their friends' names.
Exactly. I worked at a place with like 7 owners. I only met 2.
Right. No, usually I think that's a common thing though, because there's a lot of like silent partners.
Yeah.
You know? Like they don't really do anything. They're just kind of like sitting back and collecting their money, and then they have like 2 or 3 of them that are like actually doing the things. One of them is like a general manager, and then the other one is like a talent buyer, or like whatever that might be.
One of them's job is just to annoy the employees.
Literally,
you know,
to just watch everything you're doing and comment on it.
Right. Just hover over me and treat me like shit, please.
Tell you one week that you can do this thing, and then the next week tell you that he never said that.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then the other owner comes in and is like, oh, don't mind him. It's cool. Like, you want to do a shot? And you're like, man, I love it.
Right.
This is great.
There's always the drunk owner that's like, yeah, come on, let's drink together. It's like, am I going to get yelled at by owner number 1?
I had a friend last week. It was actually, it might have been the night that I had to deal with that whole situation where I was like, hey, are you awake? They're like, yes. Are you sober? I'm about to not be sober, aren't I? And I was like, yep. You are going to get a bottle of liquor, and you are going to get a video chat with me. And they were like, yeah, like, we decided not to open. Like, we could have opened and decided not to. And I went in there one day to check on stuff, and there was one of the owners just, like, sitting there drinking. And they were like, I don't think they actually wanted to open because they were going to lose their happy place away from all their family. Like, I can go here right now and just sit and drink on my own and not deal with anybody.
I just want to get out of the house.
I just want to be away. I want to go where everyone knows my name, but just pretends like I'm not here right now.
Right.
So yeah, like you're always going to end up with that owner where you're like, wait, what's going on here? I don't know.
Yeah. And don't try to figure it out. Like, it's not worth it.
No.
During your time that you were in quarantine, have you guys had anybody actually, like old regulars or anything, reach out to you and try and like communicate with you at all?
I had a couple.
That's nice.
Like 4 or 5. Like I had like a handful that honestly was like most people that reached out to me were actually bartenders.
Yeah, people you work with.
Yeah, like probably 20 different people. But like non-bartenders, I probably had like 4 or 5, 2 or 3, which surprised me. Like, you know, like reach out and just check on me and the whole 9, and you know, like that was nice. Like the one thing the quarantine taught me was like people I still hate because it happens. People I genuinely missed, and then like people you didn't realize you missed, but you're like, oh, they're actually good people. You just maybe you don't see them as often or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I had a couple. It was cool.
That's really nice to have people kind of reach out to you and be like, hey, just making sure you're okay. I had some people that were, offering help just in general, like if you need food or if you need whatever. And I've been good, but I'm like, it is nice to have people contact you, let you know that they miss you or that, they valued that, even if it's just a simple interaction every week,
Yeah.
So that was really good. What about you, Remy? Have you had people?
I've got so many old regulars on my Facebook friends that it's like I've moved on to different bars and I don't see them in bars anymore, but I keep up with them on Facebook and we'll comment on their posts and stuff like that. And it's like, well, now we're just friends. You're not a regular anymore. We're just
friends with me.
Yeah, it's all
exactly.
Good. Yeah, no, I've tons of people reaching out and just, hey, how you doing? How's it going? How are you? Like, everything okay? Everybody's kind of going through the same thing in a different way, so connecting with everybody. I got so many different circles of friends from all my different crazy jobs that I work that it's like it's weird when they all kind of intersect too. Somebody's like, wait, you work at bars? And I'm like, yeah, come see me at a bar sometimes. They know me from another industry and they're like, you're a totally different person behind the bar. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Because one of them is my job and the other one is my real life.
Hey. You try and guess which one is which.
Right. I'm nice in both of them. I just,
My smile is 95% real.
92. 82.
I think my attitude is also 95% real, so.
Oh, sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of a bigger asshole as a bartender, I feel like.
Well, you're the angry bartender. I mean.
That's fair.
It's kind of like it's in your name. People should just expect it. Like, you're gonna be angry.
But I'm not in real life.
Most people can tell, like, when I'm just goofing around and being fun behind the bar, when I genuinely like them and when I really, really, really don't like them. It's like I go from zero to like switched on real quick. If I don't like somebody, I'm like, oh, okay, you want to act like this? Well, then I'll just go get security and get them to throw you out, or maybe I'll come out from behind the bar, whatever it's gonna take. But like, you just fucked up, dude, because I control whether you drink or not, and now you're not drinking anymore. Like, you're cut the fuck off.
That's why I think I'm really good at faking it, because I'm like, man, you really don't realize how quickly I will cut you the fuck off and throw you the fuck out.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
immediately.
Like, I have no problem cutting you off.
Yep. Yeah.
Part of my job.
Yeah. I can do it if you look at me funny. So, don't speak to me wrong.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'm not trying to be that person. I'm not trying to just cut people off for no reason. I'm not trying to be irrational or anything. But if you start being like disrespecting me and you think that you're coming in here and you're talking to me like that in my fucking house, no.
We're always the assholes, though. At the end of the day, they'll scream and yell at us as they're getting kicked out, like, fuck you, you suck, you're a jerk. I had to kick a guy out for a Christmas party, and he's like all suited up, 3-piece, got a cute girl on his arm. He thought he was the shit. And he's trying to like get drinks after the cutoff time, and it was drink tickets too. Such an obnoxious way to do a party. But yeah, so he's trying to, the guy's already had enough to drink. You can tell. I'm like, no, dude, you're good. You're not getting anything else. Like, we're done. We're done serving everything. I'm breaking things down.
At least wait till everyone's gone.
He's like, but okay, I'm going to get all these people out of here for you. And I'm like, yeah, and then you can leave too. And so he gets everybody out. He's like, look what I did for you. I got all these people out. I was like, congratulations. Thank you very much. Now you got to leave too. And he's like, oh, you're a fucking asshole. And I'm like, no, dude, I told you 20 minutes ago, no more booze. That meant no more booze. I don't care.
Listen, I'm not going to serve you. There's nothing you can say or do to make me serve you.
Right.
Like, unless, I tell people all the time when they try and do that to me, I'm like, unless you're going to pay me a year's salary, as well as $2,500 for all the tickets I'm going to get, I'm not serving you anything. So if you want to give me $50,000 to serve you a drink right now, I will gladly take it and I'll walk right out of here afterwards.
Yeah, I'll quit. No problem.
And then they never do.
I think my normal number is like 60 grand. I'm like, if you want to give me 60 grand, I'll give you a drink.
Yeah, I'm totally down. Like, just give me like an average year's salary and an extra $2,500, and I will hand you a fucking shot right now.
Well, you never know. It might work someday. You know,
Well, you know what? That's the reason why I keep saying it.
It'd be a really good day. I remember one day a guy was like, well, I want to dance with the waitress. And I'm like, well, the waitress doesn't want to dance with you. And he's like, I'll give her $900. And I'm like, hey, if he gives you $900, will you go dance with him? And I'm like, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, get her $900. He's like, run my credit card. I'm like, no, it's not what I said. I can run your credit card so you can fucking go cancel it or say that wasn't correct tomorrow.
Right.
No, go get $900.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got a credit card. Tell you what, walk over to that credit card machine over there, punch a fucking little code in. They're gonna give you $900 at a really shitty interest rate. Do it that way.
Exactly. You want to be a big baller, big baller. You know, but don't come crying.
Okay, but I've straight up seen people be like, okay, and they do it. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, if you want to do that, I will gladly take the money. I will watch my friend take the money. I'll take a cut for making this shit happen. You know, like, fine.
Cash in hand, I'll dance with him. I don't care.
Right.
I mean, times are tough. If you need to cut me in like a pimp, I will negotiate the dance deal with you.
I worked at a strip club for like a month, and that would happen to me all the time. Like, people would literally try and like, oh, I'll give you, you know, $500 if you like quit right now and sit with me. And I'm just like, $500 isn't enough. I'll quit right now. If you give me like $5,000, I'll quit because I can find a job next week. That's fine, but I'll have $5,000. You know.
Exactly. Nah, the problem is guys like that want something for their $5,000. You know.
Right.
But you're not gonna just be sitting with them.
I did work somewhere where like at a strip club actually, but it was like this guy had like offered me money to go dance, and I was like, I'm not doing it. Like, it's never gonna happen. And he went over to my boss, and then apparently they worked out a deal that I was going to go dance. Like, he was going to give him money and I was going to go dance. And I was like, that's not really how this works. And yeah, it was like a pretty
I found
situation
it.
having to be like,
that's what I was looking for.
So then they decided to be like, okay, well then you're going to do the hot seat, which is like basically I'll sit in a chair and all the dancers that I worked with, all the entertainers would come up and dance on me for like, it's basically like a birthday thing. They were like, so no one's going to touch you. It's just the other girls you work with. And I was like, the point is though, who got that money? Who got that money that guy gave you to make me go do that? You know what I mean? Like, I want my money. Right. That's my money.
Yeah, pay me. Fuck you.
Right.
Pay me.
He wasn't paying you to go up there. He was paying me to go up there. What's this
birthday thing? I don't understand the birthday concept. I've never been to a strip club on.
Me either, I mean.
Yeah.
I love strip clubs. I'm not going to lie. I love them. I love them.
Who doesn't love the strip club?
So much.
I actually hate strip clubs.
I mean, the problem is they don't let guys bartend at them.
I end up the parent at a strip club, so I just fucking despise going into them.
You got to take care of everybody.
You can't do that. No. Listen, she's not going to do that for that much money. You know what?
They kick you out because you're just walking around to all the customers being like, don't fall for it.
Oh my God, no. Like, it's just, I don't care about anyone else. It's like just my idiot friends. And I'm like, no, this isn't a good idea. Like, they'll come up to me and I'll be like, no, hey, go to my idiot friends. Like, go to Drink Ninja. Drink Ninja will give you $400. It's going to be great. I want to go get drunk at the bar.
They have like a 2-drink in 1 hour rule, and each beer is like $10.50. You have to spend like $300 in an hour in order to be allowed inside the strip club. Like, they won't even let me go into strip clubs around here. They're like, unless you're with a gentleman escort, you know what I mean? Like, I can't go in without a guy is basically what is happening. So that's fun, having to like call my friends and be like, hey, I want to go to the strip club. Do you want to come with me? I need you to get me in.
I got you. Just let me know when they open back up again. Well, I tell you what, angry bartender, if you and Drink Ninja ever find your way into the Metro Detroit area, we'll definitely go out to the strip club with you.
Yeah,
I'm going to the strip club with you guys, but one rule.
All right.
I'm not babysitting Drink Ninja. Drink Ninja is your problem.
Okay.
All right.
I will totally
accept that
babysit Drink
challenge.
Ninja.
We'll accept that challenge. We don't know what we're getting into, but we don't care.
We'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
babysit
awesome.
you, Drink Ninja.
Oh, good luck.
Oh, man.
Good luck with that. It'll be great.
We're going to end up babysitting each other.
Challenge accepted. Yeah, I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship. Well, listen, we cannot thank you enough, Angry Bartender, for being on this week and last week.
We love you so much.
We do. We've had so much fun with you. And listen, you've brought us a lot of new listeners, a lot of people that haven't seen our podcast before. We are super grateful for that. Everybody who's jumping on board because of the Angry Bartender, please go back and listen to some of our old episodes. We've got some funny stuff, and we've got more stuff on the way. And Angry Bartender, you're welcome back anytime, obviously. But you're up right now.
For all our new listeners too, let me just also say, if you have an awesome, funny story, cool story, crazy story, whatever it is about your time inside of a bar, whether you work at one or not, send us an email at barsidetales@gmail.com and we might read it live and you guys can see it happen.
Oh, boy.
Yes,
Awesome.
Ninja, get it!
Yes. Well, yeah, we got to do one more shot here. I think we've got enough time for one more shot before our
got one more shot.
Shots up to everybody who's open, to everybody who's trying to open back up, and everybody, be safe out there. Have fun with your friends. Don't be idiots, please. Don't make the Angry Bartender more angry. He doesn't need it. All right, be nice.
Here's to the kisses we've snatched, and vice versa.
Yes.
Hey, we'll also take, like, just interesting stories in general. If you're a valet or anything, I want to hear about your.
Hell yeah, bouncers right in.
Bouncers, all that.
Shot girls.
Have to have fuck-up stories.
Bottle service girls. If you ever got
bottle service girls.
If you ever personally attacked by those little sparklers that they fucking sparkle off and shit, burn your arm, all the shit, we want to hear about that, man.
Thank you so much for coming on, Angry.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Dude, seriously, thank you so much.
Bye.
Hi guys, I'm Lauren. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Tales from the Barside. Tune in next week and make sure you check us out on Facebook at Tales from the Barside.